What's up, everybody? Yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. In my own words, hottest show on the streets as I'm on dad duty, husband duty, as I enjoy being on. And this has come from the home location here on a Friday, but giving you your best in Alabama football content. You go ahead right now. You know what time it is. You hit that like button. You drop that thumbs up, run those likes up past the moon there. I appreciate you guys. You hit that subscribe button as well to share the show, subscribe to the show. Make sure you're locked and loaded on the network, giving you your best in Alabama football coverage. We got a lot to get to because this is the game. This is the game. This is the week. Bama, LSU. I shouldn't have to say anything else about that. It's the Crimson Tide. It's the LSU Tigers. You got College Game Day in Tuscaloosa right now. The entire national media in T-Town right now. A lot of you are still wondering why in the world was a Vanderbilt fan picked to be the guest picker. I don't know. I still cannot answer that question myself. You got Nick Saban popping a blood vessel in his eye, talking about yelling at the players, getting them locked in, hooked on, focused here for this matchup. The SEC West on the line. The Crimson Tide trying to clear more of its path toward the college football playoff. A lot's at stake. A lot here is at stake. And you as an Alabama fan, right, you got the hottest seat in the house. You get a chance to have conversations, dialogue with all your friends, all your family right here in the YouTube chat line, on In My Own Words. Light the chat line up with your comments. Light the chat line up with your donations. $100 daily super chat go, $100 there, daily super chat go. We're going to get to a lot of your comments. I'm trying to hit them all here on the show from the home location this evening, on dad duty, on husband duty right here, but enjoying the opportunity to come on live to you, the Bama Nation, getting your Crimson Tide football coverage right here. So right now, we're going to get into some of the comments early on here. And first and foremost, my man DP, Don Parker, Roll Tide, everyone. Don Parker getting it started first in here. That's what I'm talking about, Don being first in here. Appreciate Don Parker getting it started here. We got GT18 saying Roll Tide. Don showing that love to Don Parker there, GT18. We got my man Lorenzo Anderson with a Roll Tide. Appreciate that from Lorenzo. We got Justin Summerlin, RTR Roll Tide, coming from him. And we got my man Bill from New York, Big Bill. Roll Tide, roll everybody. Big freaking game. And it is. Huge matchup. SEC West on the line. Winner goes to Atlanta to take on Georgia for an SEC championship. This is big here. Bill also saying he's ready. He's ready for this matchup. Justin Summerlin writes in, he's ready as well. I'm ready too. Justin Summerlin also says, Bama, 60 minutes domination. He sees it, 60 minutes domination. Bobby Sprinkle, Stephen M. Smith, Roll Tide, brother Bobby, we appreciate you, absolutely. We got here X-User, X-Error X. I honestly believe Tommy Rees can't do his thing with this garbage offensive line coach. Well, Tommy Rees, Eric Wolford, they both are going to be on it here in this football game. Bill from New York, that $5 donation. Appreciate Bill. You are the man, Stephen Roll Tide. We appreciate that. Bill from you. Daryl Spivey, Roll Tide, brother. Roll Tide there. My man Daryl Spivey. Let's see here. Justin Summerlin, Stephen Smith, Roll Tide. Appreciate that, Justin. James Knox writes in, Roll Tide till I die. To the In My Own Words TDA family, tell Miss Smith to relax and enjoy herself. I will do that. I will let my wife know to definitely relax and enjoy herself on this evening. We got my man Eddie Rhodes, who drops in that $100 donation. Appreciate that from Eddie Rhodes, helping us out here on the show. All of you guys doing some things here on this evening. Eddie Rhodes dropping the dough. Rock and Roll Masonry LLC. Big homie sent the bill. That's what's up. Absolutely. Appreciate all of you guys checking in. Brandon White with the Roll Tide. Let's go. Appreciate that, Brandon. Ty Alexander with that RTR. Appreciate him right there. Then we got Tyrese Griffin with an RTR. Tyrese, thank you. Ephraim Davis with the Roll Tide. Everybody everywhere. Appreciate Ephraim and all of you guys helping us out here. All of you guys coming in. Chef 18 Wheels, Roll Tide. I'm worried, Stephen, but Roll Tide will address those worries right there. Chef 18, Star Trek, Kid 205, Roll Tide. Stephen, do you think we could see some plays from Milroe under center and not in shotgun? Might roll him out using his legs. Star Trek, we need to see that, and we will be able to check that out on tomorrow, the game at 6:45 p.m. Central Time. But all of you guys writing in. Ty Alexander with, do you think fans felt too harsh with Bill O'Brien since the Rees experience? Some people are starting to maybe change their tune there on Bill O'Brien, but at the same time, Ty, the jury is still out there on Tommy Rees, but this is a big game for him in terms of proving everybody wrong that he is the guy. Let's see, Plow Jogger 1776 writes in, pounding the ball will be the key to our offensive success. Roll Tide, Plow Jogger, I agree with you. Bama's got to have balance. Got to have balance. Got to be able to run the football in this matchup. But appreciate all of you guys getting in and getting us started here with the show with your comments. I mean, you guys are rolling these comments in right now, and we'll continue here with some more of your chats before we get to the first topic of conversation. As we continue here with your chats here, we got Dre Lively writing in, stadium needs to be now, RTR. Here we go. Coach Saban challenging the fans again. And then you got Kool-Aid McKinstry talking about the Tennessee game. The crowd was loud. It was loud. It affected Tennessee. Need that loud crowd. Need that engaging crowd again inside Bryant-Denny. Absolutely, Dre Lively. You are correct there about that. Let's see here. Don Parker writes back in, time for Bama to let the hate out. Time to let the Bama let that hate out starting tomorrow. This is LSU, a revenge game. Run it up. LSU, big game, marquee matchup. Time to let this thing do what it do. Plow jog right back in. Will Niblack be used more over the middle? I would like to see that plow from Tommy Rees. Have some plays where Niblack stretched out wide or split out wide. Have him come across the middle on those timing patterns, those dig routes, those post inside corner routes. Use more of Niblack in the middle of the field because LSU has had problems with big body tight ends all season, especially with the Tigers dealing with injuries. And then you have Harold Perkins, who's your best defensive player on the field. You definitely need to manipulate his eyes there with the eye candy as well. Let's see here. We got a question. Can we see some action with the tight ends? You need to, whether it's Amari Niblack, whether it's CJ Dupree. Alabama needs misdirection, needs action there with the tight end group. So Tommy Rees got to put that in order. Roll Tide to my man William Bryant writing this. My man Big William Bryant, appreciate him. Roll Tide to him writing in here. Blitz 010 says our O-line needs to be the X factor. Push the D-line. Bama's O-line got to come with it. Bama's O-line has to come with it. Eric Wolford, J.C. Latham, Tyler Booker, Jayden Roberts. This got to be Seth McLaughlin. This has to be their best football game, period. See here, Bobby Sprinkle writing back in. Hey, Stephen, do you think Tommy Rees in his first year in the SEC, do you think he's trying to get everything out for a reason? Why Rees is trying to figure things out. See, the thing with Tommy Rees, it is his first year, and he has not wanting to put everything out there. He's been trying to get this team to develop before he wanted to unleash more things offensively. But against Tennessee, we started to see him do more in misdirection and jet sweeps and pop passes using Kendrick Law a lot more. But I think against LSU, because he's facing Brian Kelly, somebody of whom a former employer at Notre Dame, Brian Kelly chose to not take Rees with him to LSU. The reason why, nobody in particular knows, but here's a shot where Tommy Rees can prove, hey, I'm that guy. I'm that guy as an offensive mind. And as a coordinator, he has that chance here. Gerald Vickery writes in, Stephen, will Tommy Rees let Milroe run and maybe end around and a few quick hits? I could see it. You got to have creativity here. You got to make this LSU defense think. You got to make this LSU defense think. So Tommy's going to have to be creative here, Joe. He has to be. Plow Jogger writes in, Bama needs to give away a lot of beer at the tailgate and get its fans lubricated and crazy for this game. Laugh out loud. The fans have to be in there. They've got to be in there ready to go. They got to be in there for this game, ready to go. Absolutely. Don Parker, Stephen, I hope Rees realizes he can run directly at Perkins and allow Proctor to lean on him. That will help neutralize his pass rush. You can do that. You can do that. This is a game where Caden Proctor can put his hands in on Harold Perkins and open up that run game. Open that thing up. Open that run game up. This is a big week to potentially do that and try to do that. My man Big Bill writes in 100 yards rushing for Milroe with 2 touchdowns. Kobe Prentice catching 2 touchdowns as well. Bill, I'd love to see that. Milroe over 100 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Kobe Prentice, 2 touchdown catches. Let's do that. We got Jamisa. We got Jimsetta AG. Could we see Bond or Law returning on special teams? You'll see Isaiah Bond on kick return. Kendrick Law or Isaiah Bond on punt return. Kendrick Law is already on kick return. So Isaiah Bond, we're going to start seeing more of him on punt return. He talked about it during the bye week that he did it in high school. He's been working on it at Alabama, and be sure to see him. So Bond on punt return. Kendrick Law is already on that kick return aspect. But we're going to get into right now topic number one of the conversation. Appreciate all of you checking this out here on the show. And so topic number one of the conversation is going to be on Tommy Rees. And, can he have his best game? Can he call his best game as the offensive coordinator? The jury is still out on Tommy Rees, right? Some of us feel like, okay, this is his first year in the SEC, coming over from Notre Dame. There are questions about, did he really call the plays at Notre Dame? Was that Brian Kelly or somebody else? And Tommy Rees just helped out with some of the game planning. But regardless of what it is, this is his first year in the SEC. This is his first year in what's coined as the best conference, the most physical conference, the hardest conference, the big man conference of college football. So this is Tommy Rees' first year in the big man conference of college football. So he's having to adjust. He's having to develop in this conference. He's having to have his own growing pains in this conference. And a lot of fans understood that. It was, give Tommy Rees some time, give Tommy Rees, an opportunity, give Tommy Rees some room here to develop, to grow, to understand some things, But then you have other fans that go, this is Alabama, right? This is Alabama. You should be able to step in. You should be able to flow. You should be able to adjust. You should be able to take what Nick Saban's telling you, and take off running. So some fans feel like he needed time to adjust. Other fans feel like this was still not the right hire by Coach Saban when you had the Garrett Rileys out there, when you had the Jeff Lebbys out there, when you had other, premier offensive coordinators out there that you could have picked from, and the decision that you made was Tommy Rees. You still have Bama fans that feel that way. So this is the game where Tommy himself can show to the whole world Saban didn't make a bad choice. Saban didn't screw this up. I was the right guy for the job, right? I was the right person for this job. So this is a game that will promote validation, validity, confirmation on Tommy Rees as the offensive coordinator. Because to be honest, a lot of us are comfortable with Kevin Steele. We are. A lot of us feel like Saban made the right move on Kevin Steele. We can honestly look at ourselves in the mirror as consumers of Bama football and tell ourselves, Saban made the right move on Steele. Yes, there have been moments where Alabama's defense has busted assignments, whether it's run gap bust, coverage bust, what have you. But for the most part, the defense has been able to bounce back, respond beautifully, especially in the second half of football games. So this defense has played way more competitive. It's played with way more fire. It's played with way more urgency under Kevin Steele in one season so far than in 5 years with Pete Golden. So honestly, as consumers of college football, as primarily Alabama football, we can look at the hire of Kevin Steele and be way more comfortable with that. Versus Tommy Rees, the jury is still out. So this is a game for him to solidify himself, to validate himself, and to confirm to everybody out there that Saban made the right choice in hiring him to be the offensive coordinator. And for him, I mentioned this throughout the week, this offense has to start fast. It can't afford to get behind the chains. It can't afford to get behind the down and distance. It can't afford a real deal shootout here. Now, it's got to score points, but it can't really afford a real deal shootout here just due to you're trying to keep LSU's offense and Jaden Daniels on the sidelines as much as possible. And the best way for you to do that is have a mixture, not just of the quick drives where you're scoring on, but also those long 10, 12, 15 play drives where you're tiring LSU's defense out. You got to wear down Harold Perkins and that team. You got to wear LSU's defense to the ground here. And you do that with a mixture of running the football, a mixture of running between the tackles, running off tackle, running outside, hitting the perimeter, design option read type plays with Jalen Milroe, where he's hitting the perimeter as well. You do this with slants. You do this with pop passing. You do this with jet sweeps. You do this with misdirection. Of course, you also want Jalen Milroe going through his reads, going through his progressions with timing routes, with slant routes, with dig routes, with post patterns, both inside and outside, taking long shots when they are provided, especially with the Tigers being down 3 cornerbacks. So you want balance all across the board, but even with that, you want creativity from Tommy Rees all across the board when you are dealing with an LSU offense coming in here undermanned. This is the best shot to take advantage of them when you're dealing with an LSU defense, coming in undermanned. So in trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, wearing down a defense and keeping LSU's offense on the sideline, limiting their possessions on the field, if you are Tommy Rees, it's balance and it's creativity. It's both. It's balance, it's creativity, and it's proven to everyone, especially yourself, that you were the right hire for this job because the jury is still out on him. Can he have his best game? Can he call his best game? Can he create some of his best plays to this point in terms of helping Alabama win this match against LSU, getting Coach Saban that birthday present, and also squarely putting yourself as the winner of the SEC West to get to Atlanta and play Georgia for a conference championship? I think Tommy Rees can do this. I think he can do this. We've seen at points this season where he's put together some good play calls. He put together good play calls in the second half against Tennessee. He's put together some good play calls against Ole Miss, against Texas A&M, which was Jalen Milroe's best game throwing the football to this point. He put together some good play calls against Arkansas. He's put together some good play calls against Mississippi State. But now it's a full game for Tommy, a full game from the first quarter to the fourth quarter. Can he put together an offensive clinic that Alabama fans are in this stadium going, wow, Saban got it right on Tommy Rees. Whoa, Saban got it right on giving him an opportunity. When everybody else was yelling out all these other names, Saban had the proper foresight to give Tommy Rees a shot. Tommy's got to prove Saban right tomorrow. At the biggest stage, the biggest moment, on the biggest network, CBS, 6:45 p.m. Central Time kickoff, Tommy Rees has got to prove Nick Saban right. That's his assignment tomorrow. That's his assignment. Because although Saban feels like, I made the best move that I've made in getting Tommy Rees, we as people that watch this team, that go hard on this team, that go hard for this team, that consume Alabama football like our lives depended on it, sometimes we look at Saban and go, was this really the right hire? Was this really the best hire? Was this really the most fruitful, productive hire for this program? Sometimes we look at Saban and we ask ourselves those questions. Because if you're not asking yourself those questions, then you wonder, how deep is my fandom? How deep is my appreciation for Alabama football? How much fire do I have going hard for my team if I'm not sometimes asking those questions of, was this the right move? Was this the right hire? Did we get the right guy? Right? So here's Tommy Rees, the biggest challenge to this point at himself. I got to go out here and I got to call the right game for Milroe to torch this defensive secondary of LSU. I gotta call the right game to where I'm putting my running backs in position to get chunk yard plays and have a proper down and distance for us. And I got to call a game to where our receivers, tight ends are out there, running their best routes getting open, making plays all the way around football game. Can Tommy Rees call his best game? I think he can in this matchup against LSU because he's got a chance to prove to Brian Kelly that, hey, I can outsmart you on this very field here in this matchup. But we're going to get to some of your thoughts here, your questions, your comments here in the chat line. And more super chats have rolled in. Appreciate you guys showing the love. More super chats have rolled in. So here we go. Here we go. We got Justin Summerlin that writes in, we stop Jayden Daniels, we win. That's the big key there, Justin. You stop Jayden Daniels, you win the football game. Absolutely. Appreciate that. But we appreciate that there. And then we got my man Fred Turner with that $10 donation, dropping it in the super chats. Fred, we appreciate that. Fred also writes in, Alabama will score the first 4 or 5 times they have the ball. Prediction there from Fred. I like that. Bama will score the first 4 or 5 times it has the football. Then we got my man Philip Hayes with that $49.99 in the super chats. Appreciate Philip Hayes helping us out right there. Philip Hayes, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank all of y'all helping us out, showing us support. James Knox comes in. Yes, sir, Stephen. Keep Daniel standing next to Kelly on the sidelines. You keep Jayden Daniels on that sideline for as much as you possibly can right there. Don Parker writes in, I don't care what anyone says about Rees, true or not. He's an improvement over O'Brien. So Don Parker is in the Tommy Rees camp. He's an improvement over Bill O'Brien. Not caring what anybody else says right there. Appreciate that from Don Parker. Bill from New York writes in, if Milroe runs, it will open his passing game. And that's the question there, Bill. And that's the question, everybody. You know, how often does Jalen Milroe take off and run in this game? With Harold Perkins, will he be used as a spy on Milroe for LSU? Will he be used primarily to try to pressure Milroe? Whatever LSU decides to do with Harold Perkins, how often does Jalen Milroe run? How often does he see the hole open? Does he see an opportunity to be deadly with his legs and take it? I know he thrives on wanting to be a pass-first quarterback, being a point guard with the football, and we respect him for doing that. But how often in this game will we see a hole open, whether it's in the A gap, whether it's in the C gap, whether it's, cornerbacks not paying Milroe any attention, their backs are turned, and Milroe can take off and go and really expose this LSU defense? How often will we see Jalen running this football game? Because his legs can play a huge key. His legs can play a huge key here in this matchup. And that's what we kind of want to see, is his legs playing that huge key there. So we got Lisa Humphrey riding in that Roll Tide. Appreciate Lisa Humphrey right there. There is that $49.99 from my man Philip Hayes. Appreciate Philip there helping us out on the show here. We got Plow Jogger writing in. We have size and speed mismatches on offense. Jalen needs to exploit those. He does. You have a size mismatch with Amari Nyblack and CJ Dupree, and you have the speed with Isaiah Bond, with Kobe Prentice, with Kendrick Law. You need to exploit that. You got the route running ability of Jermaine Burton. You got the speed of Isaiah Bond as well. You definitely need to exploit that there. Here we got Gerald Vickery. Steven getting banked tonight. Bank in all caps. Gerald, I appreciate y'all, the fans. This is you guys, right? You guys make my job fun. I mean, I appreciate having the chance to come on here and talk Alabama football with the most intelligent, the most fiery, the most passionate, the most into it fans of college football. But you guys make this happen. Y'all make it fun. You bring the excitement. You bring the conversation. You bring the edge. You bring the passion to the table. All I get to do is channel your passion into a conversation. That makes it fun for me. Channel your passion into a conversation. That makes it fun there for me. There's my man Fred Turner. There's that $10 donation from my man Fred. Appreciate all of you. I'm telling you, helping us out on the show. Monica Petaway writes in, I had a dream that Alabama showed out against LSU and won. I'm praying that dream comes true. Well, Monica, you and the Bama Nation are pulling for your dream of Alabama showing out against the Tigers on tomorrow at Bryant-Denny, 6:45 p.m. Central Time on CBS. We got another super chat. Ask Bama Girl 26 with that $20 donation. Dropping the money in there. Ask Bama Girl 26. Roll Tide, roll to the Bama Nation. We appreciate that right there. Mike Coleman says, I remember calling in when we found out he was hired. Time to see what we got. Roll Tide, and that being Tommy Rees. Now, I remember when Tommy Rees was hired, like I said, it was a lot of mixed feelings there, a lot of mixed emotions there. Most people were just happy to see Bill O'Brien gone, but now the jury is kind of out on Tommy Rees about, was he the right move? Was he the proper hire? Did Saban get this correctly? Well, on the biggest stage tomorrow, we'll have our answer. We will have our answer. Plow Jogger writes in, all this dough coming in will make some nice biscuits. Hey, I'm just saying, Plow. But seriously, though, I appreciate all of you, the Alabama fans. It's you guys. I've said this before. Y'all make this happen. I just turn your passion into a conversation. But it's your passion that makes the show what it is. It's your excitement that makes it what it is. It's your willingness to want to talk about Alabama football with me, whether it's me in studio, whether it's me here from the home location, whether it's me out and about with you, and I see you guys out and about. It's you wanting to have a conversation with me that makes this special, that makes this exciting. Justin Summerlin writes in, yes, that's what I've been trying to explain to everybody. Tommy Rees can only call what Jalen Milroe can do. Right? I mean, right. But we're seeing, Justin, with Jalen Milroe getting better and better and better and growing, now Tommy can do more. Now he can dial up more. Now he can call out more. And Coach Saban mentioning the offensive line getting better. So now Tommy can do a bit more here. Let's see, Mike Coleman writes in 125 in here. Listen to the man, Stephen Smith. Go give him the thumbs up and tap the bell. Absolutely. Y'all heard Mike? Let's do this. 131 in here. Y'all get that thumbs up. Hit that like button. Tap the bell. Show that support. And Don Parker, let's go with the $5 donation in here. Appreciate Don. We need butter for them biscuits. Oh, my goodness. Appreciate all of you guys. Don Parker with that $5 donation. Thank you, guys. James Knox writing in. Even after putting this butt whooping on LSU, it's a very strong. It's very strong, but still may be. Players and the OC and DC and the staff need to reset to post Texas game after every win, in my opinion. And I guess that comes down to, I guess, James, you're referring to like the college football playoff and the path being clear. I mean, you got to handle your business here against LSU, and then moving forward, after you handle your business against LSU, of course, you got to get other teams to lose there as well. But at the same time, handle that business against LSU first. Let's see here. Justin Sutherland writes in, yes, Steve, and I believe we were just waiting for the right time. Yeah, you wait for the right time, and I think this is it right here against LSU for Tommy Rees and Jalen Milroe. Plow Jogger writes in, it's so good to have some football in these perilous times. Lord, help our crazy world get right. Plow, I couldn't agree with you more. We're dealing with some rough stuff in today's world with the wars taking place, but it's always good to where, even though we see the living Bible fulfilling itself, it's amazing to have this sport known as football help bring us together and we can laugh and we can have conversations. It's great to laugh and have conversations, especially with the sport of football. Justin Summerlin writes in with the Jalen Milroe prediction here. 350 passing yards, 100 rushing yards, and 3 passing touchdowns. So Justin Summerlin has got Jalen Milroe totaling 450 yards, 350 passing, 100 rushing, with 5 total touchdowns. Justin, if this is Jalen Milroe's stat line, get the band for the Heisman. If this is Jalen Milroe's stat line, 450 total yards offensively and 5 total touchdowns, get him ready for the Heisman. That's all I'm saying. Get him ready for the Heisman. If this happens, get him ready for the Heisman. Period. I mean, period. Plow Jogger with that $5 donation. Appreciate Plow Jogger helping us out right there. Ask Bama Girl 26. I feel the Natty is ours to win. Bama is in the perfect striking distance. Ask Bama Girl 26. Bama's in the perfect striking distance. It's number 8 right now in the college football playoff rankings. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get into more of this conversation, the second topic right here. Bama's right where it needs to be at. Other teams will cancel themselves out, but Bama's got to handle its responsibility and win out. It's got to handle its responsibility and win out. Brett Turner, give me the preach, Steve, and appreciate that there from Brett Turner. Bobby Sprinkle writes, Stephen M. Smith, I had a dream Tuesday night about Alabama LSU. I dreamt that LSU couldn't get but 6 points, and Bama was racking up the points. Well, Bobby, the same thing that I told Monica Petaway. Bama Nation is preying on your dream as well, Bobby. The LSU only musters up 6 points, and the Alabama offense is just pounding it up right here. Let's see. Brandon White comes in. Jalen Milroe is definitely getting better. Imagine he was able to develop a great quarterback read option like Nick Marshall used to at Auburn. That man would be even more dangerous right now. And that's something, Brandon, that people are asking Tommy Rees to do. More read option, more design quarterback zone runs, more design plays for Jalen Milroe to use his feet. But then on top of that, you're looking for, even when it's not a design quarterback run, if Jalen Milroe just sees an opening, take off with the opening, right? You take off with the opening. So going to be very, very interesting right here to see what Alabama does tomorrow and trying to help Milroe use those legs. Justin Summerlin writes in with the score prediction, 38-17, we roll LSU. So Justin's got Bama 38, LSU 17 here. So that's that prediction from Justin. Jay Clark writes in, I picked Jaden to pass under 277 yards. Am I going to win some money? So he predicts Jaden Daniels to pass under 277 yards. Is he going to win some money? Well, Jay, we'll see. We'll see there. I know Vegas has got some betting lines on passing yards and things of that nature. So we will see. Oliver Bacon writes in 52-28. He's got Bama 52, LSU 28. Milroe goes over 300 in passing yards. There's Oliver Bacon with his thoughts right there. Here we go. And we got here Ephraim Davis writes in 2011 LSU Bama game. That was Bama. That was a game, but lost by 3. Just remember that Bama LSU game from 2011 there. But appreciate you guys writing in, helping us out on the show. Don Parker with, remember, people, you have to sleep to dream. I'm wide awake. I'm just saying it's time for this team to make a statement. Tomorrow's an opportunity. Tomorrow's a big opportunity. Tomorrow's a big opportunity for Alabama against LSU. We got a couple of guys, Davis Natali, and Gerald Vickery, with their predictions being 34-31-ish for Alabama LSU, 35-31-ish for Gerald Vickery and David Natali there. We got my man Big Bill who's got his prediction 45-20 in favor of Bama. Appreciate Bill there, 45-20. We got Jay the GOAT with the $2 donation. Appreciate Jay the GOAT for that right there. And Jay writes in, Miss Terry did that to Nick Saban's eye. So Miss Terry did that to Nick Saban's eye. All right, then Miss Terry. He's got 40. Jay the GOAT got 42-24 Alabama over LSU. And Miss Terry doing that to Saban's eye there. You gotta watch Miss Terry a gangster now. Miss Terry gangster. You gotta watch out. She loves football, but she gangster too now. You gotta watch Miss Terry sometimes. You do. But Gerald Vickery with the laugh out loud to Jay the GOAT's comment right there. Here we go. So James Knox with responding to Jay Clark. Jaden and LSU's offense will be on the sideline so much. Bama's ushers will charge them a super premium submission for their view of the game. Oh, man. William Bryant. Let's get to William Bryant here. William Bryant writes in, Bama beats LSU 47-3. And Bama beat LSU 47-3 in 1922. The largest margin ever over LSU. Let's do it again. 47-3. So some history there from William Bryant, hoping that Alabama can get that 47-3 victory again, this time around against LSU. But here we go here. As you guys are continuing to get your predictions here on the show, we're going to go to topic 2 of the conversation. And this one's on Bama's path to the college football playoff. Is it clear enough? Is it clear enough? Is Bama's path to the CFP clear enough? And I'll explain this here. I don't think Bama's path is as murky as some others do. Yes, Bama needs to handle its business, most importantly, by winning out the remainder of its regular season schedule, playing complete games, getting some style points here, and doing it in dominant fashion, showing the College Football Playoff Committee it's definitively one of the best 4 teams in the country. But I look at it like this. If you're an Alabama fan, if you're a Bama fan, you need to be pulling hard for USC this weekend. Here's why. USC, Southern California, it faces Washington tomorrow. Washington is number 5 in the college football playoff. Washington and Oregon are on the outside looking in. Washington's at 5, Oregon's at number 6. USC plays Washington this week. It plays Oregon next week. You got to pull hard for USC to get 2 back-to-back wins to knock out Oregon and Washington. So if you're a Bama fan, you got to pull for SC. Or if you don't pull for SC, then the latter part of this month, Oregon State takes on Washington and Oregon. So if you're not going to pull for SC this time around, the latter portion of this month, you got to pull for Oregon State to knock out both Washington and Oregon. Also, you have to look at the loser of Ohio State, Michigan. Ohio State ranked number 1, Michigan ranked number 3. The loser of Ohio State, Michigan has to get blown out the water. That can't be a close game. Because if that's a close game, the committee will look at the loser of that game and still try to put them in. So the loser of Ohio State, Michigan has to get blown out for Bama to have a shot. And I'm talking about lose by 17 plus, maybe even 14 plus, but lose by 17 plus, blown out the map there. So that's got to happen. I look at Florida State. Florida State's going to get in to represent the ACC. I don't see Florida State losing. I mean, Florida State does not – their schedule sets up perfect for them. Miami could give them a test. The Hurricanes 6-2 on the year. That could be something there. Pittsburgh in years past has always made an ACC team trip up. You know, Clemson most notably. So Pittsburgh could be something there. Miami could be something there. Florida State is going to have their way with Florida. Billy Napier's not having a good year with that team. But I see Florida State getting in. And, of course, Georgia. But I look at, if you're an Alabama fan, you're cheering hard for USC back-to-back weeks. If not SC, then Oregon State, when you're talking about getting Oregon and Washington out the way. The loser of Michigan, Ohio State, the loser of that game has to get blown out for Bama to get pushed in there. And then you look at now Texas. Texas is also ahead of Bama. Texas at number 7. You're pulling for Kansas State this weekend. The Wildcats ranked number 23 in the country. You're pulling for Kansas State to beat Texas. That's the move there. So I'm kind of giving you the blueprint here, Bama fans, the scenario of who to pull for this weekend. And when you talk about Bama's path to the college football playoff, it's not as murky as most may think it is. Now, Alabama's got to handle its own business and I'm talking about handle LSU, handle Kentucky, handle Chattanooga, handle Auburn, get to the SEC championship game, and handle Georgia. Bama's got to do that part of the bidding, but you as an Alabama fan, in terms of watching other teams, you got to pull for SC to take care of Washington this week and Oregon next week. Then you have to look at the loser of Ohio State, Michigan, that loser getting blown off the map in that game. And then you look at, Kansas State taking care of Texas, and hopefully a Miami or a Pittsburgh can handle Florida State. So that's what you're looking at there. If you're an Alabama fan, that's kind of the scenario that you're looking at there. But is Alabama's path cleared? Is it clear enough to the college football playoff? To me, it's not as murky as what people are making it, but it does need help from some teams to lose. And it's not out of the realm of possibility that these suggestions I brought up happen. I mean, SC could go out there and wipe the floor in Washington tomorrow. SC can go out there the next week and wipe the floor with Oregon. I mean, we could see tomorrow Kansas State could take Texas. we can see. I mean, K-State's tough. They've always been a tough football team. Last year, K-State beat TCU in the Big 12 championship game. We look at K-State in the Sugar Bowl, was able to put up points against Alabama. Now, Alabama ultimately won the game, 45-20, but K-State was in that game for a little bit. So I'm keeping my eyes on that one. That could be a fun one. That could be a fun one. But that's just my thoughts here on Bama's path to the college football playoff. It's got to have some teams lose there. But first and foremost, Bama's got to take care of its own business. We're returning to the chat line to grab more of your questions. We appreciate all of you guys writing in here on the show here. And already out the gate, we already got some folks here getting into the conversation here. Let's see here. We got Justin Summerlin writing in, Washington won't make it through the rest of their games without losing one. Just that's what I'm saying. Washington's got SC. Washington also has Oregon State. Oregon State with DJ Uiagalelei, that could be something. That could be a game right there. Let's see here. Ephraim Davis writes in, no team in the top 6 at the college football playoff going to lose this weekend. Ephraim does not see a team losing this weekend. I mean, if you're a Bama fan, though, Ephraim, you got to pull for SC. You got to pull for SC to top of Washington. You got to pull for Kansas State to topple Texas. And, you got to pull for that. But let's see here. Let's see. Cal 1 writes in, if we beat LSU this year, we are for real. Roll Tide roll. If Alabama handles LSU, Cal 1, if it handles LSU, and we're talking beat them down 14, 17 points plus, that will start opening the eyes of the college football playoff committee to let them know Alabama's for real. If Alabama goes out there and handles LSU to where it's full-on domination, it's real joyless murder ball, then the playoff committee has to open their eyes to this Alabama team is something. this Alabama team is a force to be reckoned with. Like, we got to look at this Alabama team in a completely different light now. So, got to be able to get that done there. Let's see. Don Parker writes in, USC's defense is garbage. Washington will be a problem for them tomorrow, and Ohio State may take an L tomorrow. Rutgers will give them a game. Hey, Don, that's something. Okay. Ohio State, Rutgers, something to keep my eyes on tomorrow. Okay. I'll keep my eyes on that game. Washington's offense is good. Michael Penix Jr., one of the best quarterbacks in the country, will be a first-round draft pick, in my opinion. Can USC's defense affect him? Can they affect him? And can Caleb Williams get a lot of opportunities on the field to touch up this Washington team? So it's going to be fun to watch tomorrow. Absolutely. Davis Natalie writes in, Bama's 100% in if they win out and beat Georgia in Atlanta. Davis, I want that to happen. I want this to happen. I want Alabama to be 100% in if they run the rest of the regular season and then beat Georgia in Atlanta. I want it in, but I just remember some years back where Penn State ran the table in the Big Ten, and a one-loss Ohio State got in over Penn State. A one-loss Ohio State got in. I just remember that. It still sticks in my mind. Want Alabama to win out and run the table, absolutely, Davis. But we also want these teams in front of Alabama, some losses to come in here to really push the Tide in there. Justin Summerlin, Texas will lose too, so we'll keep your eyes on that. Fred Turner, Louisville can get Florida State. I want to believe it, Fred. I want to believe in Louisville. I just feel like if Lamar Jackson was still in Louisville, I would have a bit more faith there. If Lamar Jackson, but El Freaky ain't at Louisville no more. It's hard. It's hard to get down with Louisville. But Fred, I will check that game out. Maybe Louisville can do it. Let's see here. Mike Coleman writes in, Florida State is in. They're good. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if Louisville can take Florida State. Miami, possibly. They're 6-2. Pittsburgh has been known to trip up teams. They tripped up Clemson quite a few times during the Deshaun Watson era. I'm just saying, Florida State probably got the easiest road to the playoff. They probably got the easiest road there. Maybe they do lose, but they probably got the easiest road to the playoff. James Knox writes back in, that ain't hard, Stephen M. Caleb Williams is a DMV kid that Alabama North supports now, but his Heisman Trophy repeat chances are shaky. So let's see here. It looks like all of you guys will be looking at this USC-Washington matchup on tomorrow to see, can the Trojans take care of Washington? Big Bill writes in, if we beat LSU in Georgia, we are in. No. If Bama handles LSU and if Bama is able to handle Georgia, it should be in. It should get in. What I'm saying is Alabama could also use some help from other teams losing also, because the committee is known for, it may see a team manhandle the opponents at the right time, but then it will also see a different team here, and they'll just put that team in. I mean, prime point. There was no way TCU should have been in the playoff last year. No way. No way. Schedule was weak, and you lose to Kansas State in the conference championship game. No way TCU should have been there. But they put TCU in just because they honored what TCU did in the regular season. And when they get into the playoff, they beat Michigan barely, and then they get their skull dragged by Georgia. That was the worst national championship game to watch. The ratings plummeted. I remember watching one network. It took 3 ESPN stations to get that Georgia TCU championship game to over 1 million views. in the ratings. It took 3 ESPN stations to do that. That tells you TCU had no business in that national championship game. So for Alabama, it should be in if it handles LSU and if it handles Georgia. But I'm no college football I'm not no college football playoff prognosticator by any sense of the imagination. But continuing here to your comments here. Let's see. Fred Turner writing back in. The betting money is on Alabama. Betting money is typically on Alabama, Fred. Betting money is typically on Alabama. Absolutely. Let's see your Andrew Ash. Kirby Smart is nothing without Saban, LOL. A lot of what Kirby Smart has done came from it being built by Nick Saban. A lot of what Kirby Smart has done was coming from being built by Coach Saban. Absolutely. Let's see here. We got here one right here. Texas is a problem on the head-to-head. That's why you need somebody else to beat Texas, because Texas beat Alabama early in the season 34-24. You need Kansas State to beat Texas, or whoever Texas plays in the Big 12 title game, possibly maybe Oklahoma again. You need Texas to go down. Fred Turner writes in, one game at a time. That's the key. You're taking this one game at a time. You're taking this one step at a time. Absolutely. Everybody's writing in. Everybody's getting their thoughts right here. Appreciate everybody for getting in here. Everybody for being a part of the show. Plow Jogger writes in, I hate to say it, but I'm rooting for Georgia against Missouri. They need to be undefeated when we beat them to get in the playoffs. Plow, you make a good point there. Georgia can't afford to lose, because if Georgia loses, it would make our win over Georgia, if Bama beats Georgia, non-significant at that point. So Alabama needs Georgia to enter Atlanta undefeated for the SEC championship. So that way, should Bama beat Georgia, it would make Bama's win that much more solidified. So going to be fun here. Going to be real fun here. Appreciate all of you guys getting your thoughts in, getting your conversations here on the show. We go. Hacker Music writes in, I need to root for Georgia against Missouri, but just can't do it. I don't hate Georgia, but that winning streak has gone on long enough. Hacker Music, I feel your pain. I feel where you're coming from. But at the same time, it's Georgia has to win, right? Because if Georgia wins up to the SEC championship and then Bama's the team that beats Georgia, that pushes Bama to the playoff. To me, that pushes Bama to the playoff. A one-loss Georgia entering the SEC championship game doesn't really sit right, because then you beat a one-loss Georgia, it's like the committee will try to play the card up. Okay, well, who has Bama played now? Because Georgia was going to be their best possible competition, but Georgia already has one loss. You see what I'm saying? So you kind of need them to enter that SEC championship game undefeated there. But man, this is a good conversation right here. And I'm happy I had this topic on the show, because you guys are just pouring in. You guys are pouring in. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Monica Petaway writing in, we don't need to see a championship game like what we saw last year, the way Georgia played against TCU. It was just practice. That's what I'm saying, Monica. That's what I'm saying. That one had absolutely no ratings whatsoever. You need a really good championship game. That's why you want Bama and Georgia for the SEC, have Bama into that college football playoff, get you a very good championship game that all eyes will be on. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You guys continue getting your thoughts in here. We got Smooth. We are going to shock folks tomorrow and play our best game to date, Bama by 7. So Smooth's got Bama by 7. He feels the Tide will play its best game to date. Smooth, we appreciate you guys. Right, appreciate you writing in. He also says, don't sleep on Kansas State tomorrow. Billy Williams writes in, Kansas State is going to take care of Texas. So we're already seeing some Kansas State love in here in the chat. Latoya Billingsley writes in, Roll Tide, my guy. Appreciate Latoya right there. Matthew Pate writes in, isn't Texas and Oklahoma on the same side? Well, the Big 12 does not have divisions anymore. So everybody just plays everybody in the Big 12. But they no longer have divisions. Everybody just plays everybody. So that's kind of what that is now. Let's see here. Donna Jenkins writes in, I watch football games all day on Saturdays with my son and daughter-in-law. We usually have two TVs going. Roll Tide, baby. Appreciate that right there. Coming into the show. We even got food choices, pasta or lasagna. Oh, wow. Pasta or lasagna. We even got food choices in here. This is incredible. We got food choices in here on the show. But we're going to get into right now, guys, our final topic of conversation here on this evening. So the final topic here for the show on tonight, the predictions here for Bama LSU. It's prediction time for Tide versus Tigers. I've already seen some predictions here in the chat line, and a lot of them. Appreciate you guys for those predictions. For me, so here's mine. For me, I've wrestled with this one all week long. I've gone back and forth on several different predictions, but I finally got to this one right here. I got 38-17 Bama. I got 38-17 Alabama over LSU. I think Kevin Steele makes a statement in this game, holding LSU to 17, a team that averages nearly 50 points a game. I think Tommy Rees, he and Jalen Milroe both make a statement together and getting this offense starting off quick, getting this offense starting off fast. My offensive player of the game, and this is going to be a shocker for some people, but I'm going to go this route. My offensive player of the game, I'm going to go Caden Proctor, the freshman left tackle. I think he is going to have a game where he stands up. He stands up, he holds his own, and he plays extremely well. He protects Jalen Milroe. He gets the run game going. My offensive player of the game, I got Caden Proctor, freshman left tackle there for Alabama. As far as my defensive player of the game, give me Justin Eboigbe. He did not play in this game last year because of a neck injury. He's back now, healthy, having a very strong season to this point. As a fifth-year senior, this is a big game for him. I'm excited for him to go out there, to dominate, to excel, not be overly pass rush happy to Jaden Daniels, but read his keys, fit his gap assignment, play disciplined football. So Caden Proctor, my offensive player of the game, Justin Eboigbe, defensive player of the game. My prediction, 38-17 Bama over LSU. But folks, tomorrow is the game. It's the game, 6:45 p.m. Central Time kickoff from Bryant-Denny, Bama against LSU. Going to be a fun one. Going to be an exciting one. As always, you want the best in news, notes, information, and coverage here on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can access this by downloading the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You download the app on your iPhone if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you got the Android phone. For your audio needs, check us out, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered there. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I'll be back in studio in the Birmingham area on Monday, continuing your Crimson Tide football conversations. Want to appreciate all of you, the Bama fans tonight, all of the donations, the super chats, the comments, you guys doing what you do, making this fun, making this exciting, making this high energy talking Alabama football. Appreciate all you guys. So until Monday, folks, enjoy the game, enjoy the atmosphere. Let's see what happens between Bama and LSU. Good night, Tuscaloosa. We will see you on Monday.